road warriors. A father and son team up to run the streets of Bentonville, creating a bond that's deeper than a bloodline.
Pooch Parks. Our city is no doubt a dog town, but how did one of our parks get its start?
It's crazy to think about. It almost feels like a different lifetime.
And building families. You've likely seen Dave and Jenny Mars on HGTV remodeling dozens of homes, but we're going to show you their efforts to build a family here in Bentonville.
As a dad going there, you want to do everything in your power to bring your little girl home.
The Downtown Conversation in 15 minutes. But Downtown Now starts right now. Hello and welcome to Downtown Now. Over the next 30 minutes, we're really going to dive into what makes Bentonville the most special city in the entire country. I'm Aaron Nolan.
I'm Dana Schlagenhaft, and stay tuned. In just a little bit, we're going to show you our interview with Dave and Jenny Mars. You know who that is?
No. Yeah, I'm a big fan of their show, but I'm a bigger fan of Dave. I've never met this dude,
Right.
But man, he looks so cool. I wish I could just shake his hand once.
He can also remodel a heck of a home.
I just want to shake the man's hand. Jeez.
Well, you take a second to cool down. We're going to talk about extreme summer heat, frigid winter mornings. Nothing stops John Leachman and his son Cameron from their morning run.
Yeah, this is a really cool story. And you may have seen them right here in downtown Bentonville. They're making their way across our streets, and it's really creating a father-son bond. It's pretty special.
When John Leachman's son Cameron was diagnosed with severe autism at the age of 3, all focus shifted to navigating the road ahead.
It created this kind of chasm between Cameron and I in terms of a traditional father-son relationship. I was way more in problem-solve mode than I was relationship mode dad at that time.
But one of Cameron's teachers in the Bentonville school system noticed a budding talent in Cameron and relayed his observations during a parent-teacher meeting.
Sean made a mention that day of a drill that he did in PE that Cameron just really loved to do. There was like this gee whiz moment of, never even thought, in my wildest imaginations that he would enjoy running with me.
That moment and an observation from a teacher changed everything. The two started running through Bentonville each day a bit further, 1 mile at a time, a ritual beyond fitness. Running became the catalyst for an unbreakable bond as father and son.
The best thing I ever heard was see the able, not the label. And that is really what it's kind of put my mind towards, is just continually finding the bar and redefining, his ceiling, right? It creates this drive to say, we don't know how high is. We don't know where the ceiling is, so, don't stop trying.
Their relationship is detailed in a book written by John, aptly titled 1 Mile at a Time, The Journey Towards an Unbreakable Bond with My Autistic Son.
What is 1 mile at a time? It's a deep look into our journey together and learning how to kind of come to grips with autism and become a dynamic duo here. We're best friends now. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
The book aims at paving a path for other families to navigate the challenges and triumphs of autism.
And if I can keep one family together because there's some ray of hope that later on down the line I can teach my kid to fish, or I can run with my son, or I can do something that we enjoy doing together and have a relationship, it's worth it. And that's what I would say is don't stop looking, don't stop trying, or at least start and then don't stop. And that's what I was unwilling to do for so long, was just try to be curious about what he was able to do.
Hey, there's nothing quite like that bond, all taking place right here in downtown Bentonville.
It really is, and I'm a transplant to Bentonville, moved here a couple of years ago with my wife and my family, and I always look around, I'm like, how did that place get, where did that come from? Well, here's a story about a dog park that truly has a unique start. Wagging tails and sprinting pups. That's the normal scene here at the Bentonville Bark Park. Families and dogs from all around Northwest Arkansas find their way to these fields for pooch play. But just like each furry friend, the Bark Park has a story all its own.
It's crazy to think about. It almost feels like a different lifetime.
It started more than 15 years ago with a 17-year-old student at Bentonville High School.
That is why the Bark Park was established, just to see all these families come together with their four-legged fur babies and enjoying the beautiful weather that we have here in Bentonville.
Melissa Shuby Ball needed a project to secure her Girl Scout Gold Award.
It's the highest honor that you can receive. So the first step was I had to present it to the Girl Scout Council.
She saw a canine need and used her own personal story to start a journey to build this park.
That was me and my dog Sadie with Santa. And it has to involve the community. It has to involve community service hours, a need that you see in your community. And at the time I had a miniature dachshund, Sadie, and she loved to run and play. But our neighborhood, although it was a very safe neighborhood, we couldn't let her off the leash.
So Melissa had the easy part down, the idea. Now it was time to rally the city and, most importantly, start finding the funds.
We ended up having to raise over $250,000. We did a lot of different fundraisers. Those were some of my very favorite things that we did. I would say that Santa Paws was one that still holds a special place in my heart.
With Mayor Bob McCaslin on board and the money in the bank, the ground was broken in 2008.
I was thrilled and I was shocked. I knew that we would make it a reality, but I was really very touched by all of the community support.
And about a year later, the Bentonville Bark Park was open to families and all their furry friends.
It's just pure joy that the community is going to be able to enjoy the dog park for years to come. It's just humbling because it was, it was a community-wide supported project. It was a committee behind me. It wasn't just me, it was so much bigger than me.
A teenager's dream turning to a doggone good reality.
It was a really great experience as a 17-year-old.
I gotta tell you, I remember what I was doing at 17 and it surely wasn't making a difference for my city. Melissa Shuby Ball, well done. Well
Great
done.
dog park too.
It's awesome. I drive past it all the time. I love it. I don't have a dog, but man, I just want to go run around in there.
Did you know?
Your favorite
There we
game.
go. An idea between three friends turned into a nonprofit organization on a mission to spread love and feed others.
Will you tell us more?
An idea between three friends turned into a nonprofit organization on a mission to spread love and feed others. For the Love was launched in 2020 as a way to feed the vulnerable in our region through Neighbor Nights. That's a big block party offering a free meal for anyone that attends. Thanks to the support of generous sponsors and hundreds of volunteers, For the Love has fed over 30,000 members to date. And you can catch Neighbor Nights in downtown Bentonville on Thursday evenings and in Rogers every Tuesday. To learn more about For the Love or to support their mission, just visit forthelove.com.
You know, Bentonville is the mountain biking capital of the world.
I've heard that.
So cycling's kind of a big deal. We also have some amazing food around Bentonville, really right here on the Bentonville Square as well. But what happens when you merge both of those into a microblog?
Hangry.
Hangry Peddler, she nailed that one. Joseph Wynn started this. Here's Brooke Beerhouse with the story.
Some of you might be familiar with my guest today. He goes by the name Hangry Peddler on Instagram, and he has created this amazing community of people in Northwest Arkansas who are looking for eateries, restaurants, and the trails here in Northwest Arkansas. And I am so excited to introduce you today to Joseph Wynn. Joseph, because you are the Hangry Peddler, I thought it would be fitting for us to go bike to the trails. What do you think?
I'm down. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Do it.
All right, so we just to the rail yard and we had a great little bike ride. Now we are gonna put our bikes up and we're gonna head out onto the Maximus Loop Trail and also the Lasso Trail out in Lake Atalanta, but we'll start at the rail yard. The indicator is this beautiful bridge right here, this cedar, and it might be weird, but it smells so good. So whenever you come here, take a huge inhale whenever you get right here. Oh my gosh. Smells good,
Yeah,
right?
it smells good. Yeah, it does. It does smell good.
We're gonna do a little rapid fire question. Are you ready?
All right, let's do it.
Okay, you've got one day in Bentonville. Where are you gonna eat? One afternoon.
Ooh, that's tough. So many good places. The Meteor. It's a new place, newish place within the last year or so. Good hamburger, good coffee, good people. It's a bike shop. So it's totally me, you know, bikes and food. So I would totally go there, yep.
Awesome. Favorite comfort food?
Comfort food. Is pizza a comfort food? Yeah, pizza. I'd say pizza. On my feed, you'll see a lot of pizza, a lot of hamburgers. So, well, my profile picture is a pizza in my mouth. So, pizza.
Last bike trail that you've been on recently?
I went to Kohler. Favorite one there is Fireline. So, Fireline and Thunderdome. I'm still a newbie at it, but that was my last one I've been on. I used to post pictures on my Facebook page of food and all that. So my friends, they're all like, hey, you need to make an Instagram page and, you know, post all your food there. And so I was like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And then I decided to combine my other love, which is cycling. You know, food and cycling kind of go hand in hand. So I was like, oh, I should do that and try to combine the two. And, you know, I've done it almost exactly 2 years now. So
what keeps you here in this area? Like, what makes it special to you?
I'd say my family for sure. That's number one. I can't picture myself living anywhere else. I've been in a big city. I've been to Dallas. I lived in Sacramento, California. And when I tell my friends and other family outside of the state that I love it here, they're like, what, Arkansas? Like, yeah, I love Arkansas.
Well, cheers to that and cheers to finishing up this hike.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And if you're hangry or looking for a good meal around this area, make sure to follow Joseph Wynn at Hangry Peddler NWA on Instagram.
All right, time for a quick break, and then the moment that I have been waiting for.
Yes. Drum roll, please.
Dana sits down with Dave and Jenny Mars, the HGTV stars, for our downtown conversation. I can't wait.
I know you're excited. We'll see you in a second. It's a love that stretched miles, crossed borders, and overcame obstacles to build a home for a child in need of a family. We talk with Dave and Jenny Mars from the HGTV show Fixer to Fabulous in this week's Downtown Conversation.
Jenny and Dave Mars, thank you so much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you guys about family and faith and adoption and building a home.
Yeah.
Not the way I think a lot of times you talk about building a home, but
Right.
actually building a home for a family.
Yeah.
And creating that family. I'm going to jump ahead to 2012.
Okay.
Okay.
And you're searching through profiles of potential children to adopt. And I read that you came across Sylvie and immediately knew this was our girl. And I love that. Can you just explain that moment?
Well, we had actually been, we really weren't searching at that point. We were on a waiting list. I got an email from an agency that has kids that weren't placed, basically. So anyway, she was on that email, and I just knew. I never, it wasn't like I got these all the time and I was like, oh, it wasn't that at all. It was like, oh wow, this is our daughter. And so
Yeah, and we at first we didn't know the country that Sylvie was
Yeah, they don't
from.
list any of that.
They don't list any of that. So you're just taking a big leap of faith that, like you literally have to start all over. And Jenny she called and said, this is her. I know it. This is her. And when she speaks like that, I just gotta listen. So gotta listen. And of course, I mean, it's perfect. But it was it was a long, hard process. We didn't realize what we were getting ourselves into, like the moment we said yes.
And so at that point, you adopted Sylvie. She's in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It's August of 2013. So she's your legal child, but she's not with you. And there was a long time until she was with you.
Yes.
Explain that. I mean, that is a grueling process.
It's horrible. Yeah. So she was legally our child. She had her U.S. visa. She was ready to come home, essentially. That's when we first met her. We didn't meet her until we knew the adoption was final, because everything is pretty
Fluid.
Yeah, fluid in the Congo. So we were always nervous, like anything could fall through at any minute. And it did a lot for a lot of people, but it didn't. So she was legally ours. So we went and met her. And when we left her, and we knew we'd be back. We hoped we'd be back in like a month, maybe 2 months. And then right about, I don't know, a couple weeks after we got home, I don't remember the exact timing, but they basically shut down all children leaving the country. There were about 700 kids in process at the time. We got her, she was in a foster home. We got her moved out of her orphanage, and so we knew she was somewhere safe, but still, I mean, it was not ideal conditions for your child.
Life changed for you July 9th, 2014. And I'm paraphrasing a post that you put up every year that I've seen multiple years, where you say 602 days of waiting, praying, pleading. You post that image every year to mark that date. And it is, you can't look at it and not feel the emotion as a mother and a father looking on. I'm even just thinking, I can see you too. That moment, Sylvie's finally in your arms.
Yes.
I mean,
It was a great moment.
You take that from here.
Great moment. I still get choked up about it because we didn't know, and Jenny, I think, tells it best. Like we had kind of gotten to the point where we're like, okay, this is not meant to be. We've gotten her into a good foster home, so we just need to, talk with Laura, who was her foster mom, about taking over care for her, and we would continue to, to pay for that care, but we were just kind of resigned to the fact that she wasn't going to come home.
We basically just decided, let's make sure we set a plan up, and let's just surrender control of this. And I don't know, a couple weeks later was when we got a call, and it's Dr. Laura, our foster mom in Congo, and she said, Jenny, they're telling me to come to the DGM, the office. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. So we got the letter. We bought Laura tickets, so they gave Laura special permission to fly her home. And so Laura got on a plane the next day for the first time in her life. She'd never been on a plane. So when they landed, it was like the biggest, I would say it was the biggest exhale. It was just literally like, oh my gosh, she really made it. And it was one of those things I don't think either of us really believed was happening until she was actually in our arms. Like, I didn't think it would really, was really happening.
And then that was the one thing that went smoothly. Like, Jenny had prayed that just let her be asleep, let her be, let me hold her, because, it's a new person, it's new, and she was just sleeping, and when Laura passed her off to Jenny, it was like, okay, we did it.
Yes.
We did it.
Yes. And of course, you can catch Dave and Jenny on HGTV's Fixer to Fabulous. Coming up, it's more than a place where you find those perfect blueberries or ripe tomatoes. We're going to bring you to the Bentonville Farmers Market next.
It's one of the longest standing traditions in downtown Bentonville. I love bringing my family to the farmers market each and every Saturday morning.
One of the shortest traditions in the history of this show is the game Did You Know?
I didn't know where you were going. Well done.
You ready? Did you know that the Bentonville Farmers Market was originally dubbed Round the Square? That's the first version of what is now the Bentonville Farmers Market, and that launched back in 1977.
I did not know that. But the beautiful thing about Dana, she always writes everything down. So now my part is, I get to read what I did not know.
Go ahead.
Okay, it was launched back by J. Dixon Black, and on that first day, 150 barbecued chickens were sold.
Sounds delicious.
Today's Bentonville Farmers Market is more than just a place to find perfect blueberries, red ripe tomatoes. It's a place to engage with local farmers and makers, support the local economy, and gather as a community. And I will say, it's just a great place just to hang.
It's a vibe.
It's a feeling. The market is held each Saturday morning from April through October. And Dana,
Here we go. Did you know that there is a Thursday evening market as well?
all right, so now how about I play some market trivia for you?
All right, let's go.
The Bentonville Farmers Market on average has how many full-time vendors?
100.
80.
All right, we're getting there. Almost
During
there.
its Saturday market, that is, and it accommodates 30 rotating part-time vendors, so really 110.
I was
so
close.
you were close. It hosts a monthly pop program as well for kids to teach them about eating healthy choices.
And it's been named, Aaron, to Garden and Health's 10 of the best and unexpected farmers markets in the United States list.
That's a lot, and again, I would highly recommend if you have not been out here and really walked our square on those Saturday mornings, there's nothing quite like it. It's really special. That wraps up our show for this Sunday morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, we'll see you next Sunday at 10:30. See you then.
The sun is 93 million miles away. The least we can do is give it a warm welcome each morning.